Hey, what's good, people? I'm just not hopping on here, man. Starting to start going live here on YouTube and everything. Those you don't know me, my name is Leo, life coach, transformation coach. I help people here who are in and coming out that narcissist relationship, and I help the narcissists here. Welcome on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. It's my first time starting to do lives on YouTube. I'm testing out all the grounds. I'm testing out everything. Right now, I've already relocated to Thailand, folks. I moved to Thailand. I walked away from everything in the U.S. I said, man, I'm gonna go and try my luck over in Thailand. So we're gonna get the party started, folks. A little bit about me. I am a person who I'm not clinically diagnosed, and I will tell you why I'm not clinically diagnosed as a narcissist. To me, I spent 30 plus years in the medical field, 27 of that being in the military. So I will tell you that 99.9% of the time, we look at a clinician, we look at a doctor as being the bottom line up front and the truth to all things. I'm not telling you not to go see a therapist. I'm not telling you to go see a doctor. What I am trying to tell you is from all my years, there is an algorithm that is followed. It is an algorithm that is followed, the one, two, three, and that's what they go by to tell you who you are. For me, because I'm on many journeys, health journey, spiritual journey, wealth journey, whatever the journey is, I'm on that journey. So on my spiritual journey, believe you me, I know I'm a narcissist. But folks, I don't want to stay on the topic about me because if you got questions, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the answers. Right now, I'm going to talk about why you keep the narcissist in your life. I'm gonna say it again. Why do you keep the narcissist in your life? Many of us come in and out of that narcissist relationship, and we would say to ourselves, the narcissist is out of my life. But is that so? Are we still holding space for the narcissist in our life? Many of us are holding space in our lives for the narcissist. You do that subconsciously because you didn't came out the bitter relationship, the narcissist and did you wrong and took everything from you. You still give the narcissist space in your life. If you don't fully heal yourself, that's what this channel is, healing narcissism. If you don't fully start the healing process, you will always give the narcissist space in your life. Leo, what do you mean? I'm glad you asked. Look, many of us can't forgive what the narcissist did to us. Many of us can't walk away and sit there and say, okay, then it's time for me to go and experience a newer version of myself. Folks, back in my day, I was that narcissist. I was a dirty, low down, rotten narcissist. I was that guy. I was the person who used and abused women. I was the guy in the left lane wanting to sleep with 50,000 women. I could have cared less. I could care less about how a woman felt. I could have cared less about anything. All I wanted to do was have sex with women. That's all I wanted to do. So I'm here to tell you from real ground experience as that narcissist, and I'm a healing narcissist. And I know some people may believe, well, now a narcissist can't heal. I beg to differ. You are talking to that guy right here, right now, live in the beautiful presence. That's why now I decided to change my life to become a life coach and a transformation coach to help people heal who are in and coming out that narcissist relationship and to help that narcissist heal. But guess what, folks? Today's topic, why do we still keep the narcissist in our life? I don't care if you've been out that narcissist relationship for 5 days, 50 days, 5 years, 50 years. If you are still triggered by that narcissist still hold a space in your life. You don't hear me though. I'm gonna say it again. If you still feel some kind of way about that narcissist still hold a space in your life. You still being triggered. And if you don't sit down there and look at you, because guess what? You can sit down there and you can point your finger out there. It's the narcissist. It's this. It's that. The narcissist done left you. The narcissist went ahead and they popping bottles at the club. They popping bottles with their new boo. They popping bottles. They done forgot about you. But guess what? You still holding on. So the more you still hold on to the narcissist, is the more you create the space for the narcissist to run your life. That's the part that nobody wants to hear about. Maybe that's the part that nobody want to talk about. People, I'm not talking about reading from a book. I'm talking about real time experience. I was that guy who gaslit women. I was that guy who love bombed women. I am more than capable and more than confident to talk about a subject that I was deeply a part of. Folks, I'm still healing as a narcissist. But if you sit down there all day long and you stuck in that mindset that a narcissist can't heal, folks, it's you. It's not the narcissist. The narcissist gone. It's you. You can't let go. Now, folks, if you get a glare from the windows, if you hear some noises, man, my Airbnb is right on the main road. I'm only gonna be here for about another month and a half. Then I'm gonna push on somewhere else and everything. I'm on my world tour. I'm traveling the world, and I'm talking to the world about healing narcissism. But folks, at the end of the day, you the one that have to look at you, and you have to be the one to say, okay, I'm ready to move on. Because 99.9% of us, we are afraid of ourselves. I'm gonna say it again, because that's gonna go over somebody's head. Somebody gonna want to hear it. Somebody ain't gonna want to see it. You are afraid of you. You are more afraid of you than you even know it right now. Because when you start the healing process, I didn't say the suppression process. Because folks, me, even as a healing narcissist, I suppressed a lot of things. I suppressed everything. But guess what? As I continue on my healing journey, I had to look at one thing. I had to know one thing. It's me. It's me all day long. I am the guy that's the drive. I'm the guy that's the author of the book. I'm the guy that's the writer of the book. And if you were trying to write a brand new chapter in your life, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to look at yourself. You cannot be afraid of the self. Most of us we'll get out that narcissistic relationship. We'll come out of that narcissistic relationship. And guess what the first thing we want to do? We want to go team up and lay up in the bed with somebody else. I'm going to say it just like that. You want to team up and you want to lay in the bed with somebody else, because guess what? You are too afraid to be by yourself. You are too afraid to do the work. Now, look, there's a difference between isolation and solitude. You cannot stay in isolation forever and a day. You cannot, because eventually you're going to have to see you. People will mirror back who you are, dime to a dollar. I know this. Just went through it and always going through it. I wasn't so long ago triggered. I know I had to go into a fasting state because I had to do more healing because I was triggered. People would tell me how I feel, how I feel, who I am. And I would get very triggered from that. And guess what I would do? I'm going to war. I'm that silverback ready to jump on you at a moment's notice. But I had it happen so much in my life. And when I got here, one of my good friends triggered me. I had to go into a healing process. So I'm trying to tell you, even as a narcissist, I'm going to tell you one thing. A narcissist is a hurt person. Hurt people hurt people. I'm going to say it again. Hurt people hurt people. Now, let me go back. Some people may not believe that I'm a narcissist. I've been told 1,000 times, you're not a narcissist. You're not a narcissist. Folks, let me tell you something. I was a man who used to hit women. Back in my day, my young days, I would smack the crap out of a woman. I was a guy who used to hit women, use and abuse women. If a woman was more emotionally in control of me and we got into that argument, I was losing that argument, I'm about to smack her. The last woman I ever smacked was my ex-wife. I smacked my ex-wife. We used to get at it. We used to be like the WWF, folks. I'm here to tell you from firsthand experience, I can talk this joint all day long. What made me decide to change when I came out my second marriage? And let me tell you right now, every woman I was with, every beautiful queen I was with did not do me nothing wrong. Because in life is all about lessons. I had to learn the lessons. But guess what, folks? Because I lived a life of being a low-down, dirty rat my whole life, being that narcissistic man. When I came out of my second marriage, I made a vow to myself. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same stuff happening over and over and over and over again. That's where I was at. So, folks, I'm here to tell you, I'm way more than qualified to talk about a topic that I used to live. Was I ever the victim? I was a victim from time to time, because my last relationship, that was God, universe, source, energy, whoever you want to give reference to, put my mirror right in front of me. And she was a very beautiful one. Would they say, young folk, baddie with a fatty? I'm going to say it just like that right here. But she mirrored me. I never forget, within the first month, we was arguing with one another, head down arguing. And I never forget, May of 2023, we are in a serious argument, pointing finger, you a narcissist, you a narcissist, you a narcissist, you a narcissist. I left. I said, man, I'm blowing up out here. I can't take this. I call her my homegirl on a spiritual journey just like me. I say, man, am I a narcissist? Yeah, boy, you're a narcissist. Get off my phone. I call my daughter up. Hey, B, am I a narcissist? Yeah, Dad, you're a narcissist. Not just as bad. Folks, it's acceptance. That's the first thing we got to look at. If you just got dogged out by a narcissist took all your money, did everything dirty to you in life, you have to get to a point where you have to sit there and say, okay, then I need to start doing the work. You cannot heal yourself from a situation like that if you're going from bed to bed to bed to bed. You're a walking pandemic. Folks, I'm saying it right here, right now, time live. You're a walking pandemic if you're sitting down there because you done came out the bad relationship and you think you're just going to jump into another relationship and you thinking that, okay, I'm going to be healed. This person's going to take me away. No, folks, that don't work that way. Your trauma compounds trauma compounds trauma. It's the snowball effect. You're a walking pandemic. You're walking around here and all you doing is laying up with this person, that person, that person, and all you doing is what we call escapism. That's all you doing is escaping. You're escaping the pain that you need to go through. You cannot become gold unless you go through the fire. You cannot become a diamond unless you go through extreme pressure. So I'm here to tell you, folks, if you're going to sit down there all day long and keep on pointing the finger outside of you, guess what? You deny yourself the opportunity to heal from narcissism or to heal from that narcissistic relationship. Folks, I'm going to talk about something that's going to be real sticky. Now, if you follow me and you see some of my videos, right, and you can relate to some of my videos, even my long videos that I might do on TikTok, because now I'm coming on the YouTube and I'll start doing more content on YouTube, you're going to start getting an understanding of what I talk about on a 24-hour basis. Folks, let me tell you something real quick. For those of you that can sit back and you are still harboring the hurt from the relationship from many, many, many moons ago, it is still holding a space in your life. You still give it attention. You still give it attention. Where your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. Many of you will sit up there and say, well, I don't give them attention. But you will see a picture of them with their new boo. You will see them on social media. And then that's what you will start feeling some kind of way when you see them. Guess what that means? They hold a space in your life. If you want to overcome, if you want to get beyond the narcissist, you're going to have to get beyond yourself. Because if you can't get beyond yourself, you cannot get beyond the narcissist. I'm here to tell you. Now, folks, I'm not sitting down there glorifying the narcissist because I will tell you. And folks on my other channels, they hear me talking about it all the time. They might say, well, Leo, you crazy. What are you talking about? The narcissist is a gift. Now, I know that's not going to go over real well with some people because it's going to go over like a fart in church. The narcissist is a gift. And let me tell you when I say this, that I just got through eating breakfast, that the narcissist is a gift. Folks, if you are trying to get to the next version of yourself, that higher version of yourself, that version of yourself that's still knocking the door, say, please let me in, please let me in, please let me in. Folks, coming back to what I'm saying, if you sit down there and you're still harboring the pain, if you are still mad, because look, I've seen people that come on some of my channels and they're talking about, I cannot forgive. That means the narcissist still holds a space in you. If you still sitting down there 10 years, 2 years, 20 years, I used to date a woman. She was still mad at the baby's father 20 plus years later. You still holding that. The body holds on to that trauma. Why are you still holding on to something that happened that many years ago? Why are you still holding on to that? You should not be holding that. Let that go. But guess what? We don't want to let that go. Because guess what? As a child, we was never taught how to forgive. As a child, we was not taught how to forgive. Now, folks, that might not be everybody, but I'm gonna definitely tell you that is the majority. We have not been taught how to heal, how to forgive. We've been institutionalized thinking that revenge is better served cold. Get your revenge, folks. No, it's nothing like that. Folks, when you start to work on you, when you start taking accountability and responsibility for your actions, when you sit down and you are telling yourself, I want the better life for me, because folks, I will tell you, back in January 2022, when I came out of my second marriage, I sat there and I tell people the story all the time. I did the paperwork. And let me go back and tell you why I did the paperwork. There was something inside of me that was saying, Leo, there's more to life than what you was living. My ex-wife was a very, very beautiful woman. And my family, and look, folks, don't get mad about family, because family is only trying to protect you. What you do is this. When family is telling you, go make it work, go make it work, go make it work. Man, a marriage has to survive the edge of time. I got it. And folks, if that's what you do, that's what you do. I love you for it. But folks, I will tell you, my family, same thing. Make your marriage work, make your marriage work, make your marriage work. But some of us will have that nudge, and that something will tell us there's more to life than what you're living. Some of us will be called to go further. And guess what? At that moment when I put that paperwork in, and guys, look, I'm not sitting there trying to say I'm holier than thou, but let me tell you one thing real quick that happened with me. I wanted to buy my own house. I was living in my wife's house. It was not my house by name, because guess what? In my young days, I didn't want to buy no house. I wanted to chase women. I wanted to sleep with as many women as possible. I was a numbers guy. It was all about the numbers with me. That's all I wanted. But I'm here to tell you that when I sat down there and came out that marriage, and I said, okay, I'm going to get a divorce. We can get married again after I buy my own house. Of course, God, universe, source, energy, whoever you give reverence to was like, that's not going to happen. That's when the journey began. folks, I wanted different for myself. And folks, that happened in January of 2022. May of 2022, I was able to buy my first house. I bought my first house. And folks, let me tell you something. When you are starting to elevate in life, when you're starting to do better in life, not everybody's going to rock with you. Not everybody's going to resonate with you. Not everybody will even like you. But look, that's a process. Because I know many of us, we will sit down and say, man, my cutoff game is on fleek. My cutoff game is all this and some. But I am here to tell you, folks, your cutoff game could be on fleek because you control it. What happens when you lose the people that you want to keep? See, I want to keep my ex-wife. But God, Universe, Source Energy stepped in and said, no, this phase of your life is over with. Folks, that's the one thing that gets in our way. When God want to drive, when God is saying, let me drive, you get in the way. We get in our way more than we care to shake a stick at. God is telling you, get in the passenger seat. I got this. Get in the passenger seat. I got this. But guess what we do? We want to take the steering wheel. We want to drive the vehicle. We don't want to let God. We don't want to have faith and believe that God has us. We don't want to sit up there and say, okay, my ancestors done paved the way for me. We don't want to do that. We want to get in the way all day long because that's what we love to do. Because we know that if we got control of it, we can see the future. But guess what? We are so blind to seeing our own future. We are so blind to seeing what's beyond us and stuff. Because we want guarantees. You don't get guarantees in this lifetime, folks. If you working off of a guarantee, you will not see the person you can become. You will not see yourself as a limitless being. You will not see yourself as you are more powerful beyond belief. You will never see it if you sit down there and you feel like you got to control every step of the way. I'm here to tell you from firsthand experience. I ain't trying to tell you what I heard. I'm trying to tell you what I know. Folks, back then, that's when everything started. Anxiety attacks, maybe some depression. But folks, that was just me because I never knew how to be by myself. I was always sleeping around with multiple women. I told this story on TikTok, I think today, yesterday, whatever it was, that the last woman I was faithful to, I was in the 8th grade. That tells you something about me. But people, me as a narcissist, I was a hurt man. Hurt people. Bottom line up. Now, folks, I'm not talking too loud because I'm in Airbnb. Some of these folks still sleeping as well after 8 o'clock in the morning over here in Thailand. But see, hurt people. There's nothing wrong with that. Folks, I don't have nothing against any content creator. There are some excellent content creators out there. There's some excellent therapists out there. There's some excellent clinicians out there. If you are in a mental or physically abusive relationship, please get yourself away from that situation. Get law enforcement involved. Go see a therapist. I would never tell somebody go see a therapist, to go see a clinician, but you have to evolve. That's the problem that we all have in life. We don't want to evolve. We want to stay right there in the pity party. And we want to enjoy the misery. Because guess what? If it looks good, if it tastes good, it must be good, but it's not always good. That's like you thinking, man, that donut must be the most healthiest thing on earth. And that donut is the one thing that's one step away from you becoming a diabetic. So pay attention to what I'm talking about. You go see these professionals, even if you get a life coach. You need to evolve because eventually everything is going to come back and point right back to you. The minute that you accept accountability and responsibility for your healing is when everything begins. Not end, everything begins at that moment. But again, if you're not willing to see you, nobody else is going to see you. If you're talking about, well, I don't want to be by myself, then folks, let me ask you this question. Why in the world would you sit up there and you go into another relationship, you still carrying the same old pain, the same old hurt, and you think that person's going to make you feel better? No, folks, that's suppression. Don't tell me I don't know it because I do know it. I've done it. That is suppression. Folks, let me tell you how selfish I was as a man. The more women I slept with, there might have been one or two I get some deep feelings for, right? But I'm getting mad because she want to leave me. I'm trying to do everything to hold on to her, but I got 4 or 5 others that I can just go fall back on and go give me some new ones. Do you see the mindset? That was me, my mindset as a narcissist back in my day. I was selfish, controlling. I was a wounded man. That's all I wanted. Let me sleep with the most women possible. That's all I want to do in my life. But folks, back then, I couldn't see it. I was like, oh my God, I'm by myself. I can't believe it. Folks, I just bought a brand new house and I couldn't sit in that brand new house 5 good minutes. I would find a reason to go drive 50 plus miles to the beach, whatever it was, just to not be in that house. But let me tell you how good the universe is, God's source, and whoever you give reverence to. Because, folks, I'm not the most religious person in the world. If you ask me, do I go to church? I pass by church. Stay with me on this one. My money got shut down. I only had enough money to go where? To the store, to the gym, back home. God is always working with you to give you an opportunity to see yourself, but I could still not see myself. I got an opportunity to get a job in Texas. I come back to Texas, got a job. Me and my homegirl, best friend, we, spiritual journey, whatever situation may be, we sitting down, we having breakfast. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get tested here. Exactly. You're going to get tested here. And guess what? It happened. Because people, we always talking about opposites attract, this attract. Folks, God, universe, source energy is going to put in your life what is going on inside of you. And because I was still having all these wounds inside of myself, guess what got put in me? My wound. Guess what got put in me? Another narcissist. Guess what that forced me to do? I had to go to work. Once my daughter, my homegirl, and the female that's put in my life, once I was validated, like, man, that's validation. I must be a narcissist. Then it's like, guess what? Time to do the research. Because I didn't know what the signs and symptoms of a narcissist was. ChatGPT, what's all this business with narcissism? Folks, I had ChatGPT bring down almost 20 plus signs, symptoms, whatever you want to call it, on what a narcissist is. And guess what? I fit 99% of that. I fit 99% of that. I even looked up codependency. Yep, Leo, you codependent also. But folks, you know what that did for me? That allowed me the opportunity to do the work. And guess what? Now I'm acceptance of it. Peep that word, acceptance. That is a word a lot of people run from because we don't want to accept. We don't want the responsibility of having to look at ourselves. We don't want to be accountable for our actions. We do not. It is so easy to play the victim because it's so hard to be the victor. Pay attention how I'm going to put this one. It is so easy to play the victim to where we're too afraid to play the victor. There's only one person in your story, and that is you. If you don't sit down there and look at yourself and say, you know what, I need to move past this. Because, folks, I will tell you, as a life coach and as a transformation coach, I can't talk to you from a book's point of view. I don't know what a clinician, I don't know what nobody went through in their life, but I can tell you real well right now. So when someone tells me, or I look at somebody and say, hey, they say a narcissist can't heal, you full of crap. You talking to one right here, right now. Now, how does a narcissist begin a healing process? It starts with acceptance. But guess what? Your soul will start screaming to you, it's time. And you're not going to be able to deny it. Your soul will start screaming to you, it's time. Now, I know I cannot say this on TikTok. I'm going to say it here. I was starting to awakening to the true self or who I am, that internal me, that divine flame. That's what I started waking up to. So, folks, when you sitting down there and you enjoying those videos and everybody's saying the narcissist can't heal, the narcissist can't heal, or you might be part of a group and nobody is coming back to tell you how you can heal these things and keep moving. Because, folks, the more you heal, the lighter you get, the more calm you get, the more at peace you become. I promise you, I'm walking those steps right now. Again, I'm not holier than thou. I'm just telling you on my journey, which is a combination of journey, wealth journey, health journey, spiritual journey, growth journey, whatever the journey is. Folks, the more I went inside, the more at peace I became. There's nothing outside of you. Only mirrors are outside of you. So what you see outside of you mirrors you. People that you looking at, people that you deal with every day, they are a mirror reflection of you. So if you with that narcissist, what you think attracted that narcissist to you? People will tell you day in, day out, you have a bullseye on your head. You do not have a bullseye on your head. If you go walk in the store right now, how many people got signs on their head saying, I'm a narcissist, I'm a narcissist, I'm a narcissist? How many people that you see day in and day out got a sign on their head saying they're a narcissist? Find me that person. Find me somebody that says, narcissist, come target me. Narcissist, come target me. Find me that person. Find me that person. No, you won't. It's what's inside of you that attracts the person to you. That's why you are here. If you in this time age, you're going to hear people say, man, it's the law of attraction. You need to become that in what you want. So, folks, I'm here to tell you, you think the narcissist sees a sign in your head that says bullseye? No. The narcissist is attracted to what's inside of you, and it's vice versa. Y'all are attracting who you are. I know folks might say, well, I'm an empath. I'm this, I'm that. Great, fine, and dandy. But also a empath is also a hurt person also. And I'm the one that's saying it right here, time now. And I don't care who feet I step on, because folks, even on this spiritual journey, I can talk about the law of polarity. Empath, narcissist, still the same, two different extremes. But guess what? Everything has to come to the center for balance, period, point blank. That's why you attract. That's why if you see some men may attract a woman who might be overly masculine. Guess what? It's to balance you out so you can come into your sovereign masculinity. Same thing on the woman's side. You might get a man who's overly feminine. He might not look it. He might be Debo all day. He might, I would say me, overly feminine, and some of my understanding, overstanding. But I'm attracting overly masculine women. Guess what? To balance me off. And it's vice versa, folks. That is the play in the universe. The universe is probably one of the most greatest things ever, because you're always going to be given an opportunity to heal. But if you sit down there and you forever staying in that hurt, if you forever staying in that hatred, that dislike, if you're sitting up listening to content that feels good, look good, like that donut, you ain't gonna never, ever heal. You can forget about healing all day long, because you'll never get to those points. You will never see that version of you that's designed for generational wealth. You will never see that version of you that's all of that can lead your family out of wherever it is. You will never see it, because you're stuck in the older version of you. Folks, let me ask you a question. How is it that you can upgrade your phone, you can upgrade your laptop, you can upgrade everything around you, but you won't upgrade this? Pay attention how I'm giving this to you. You will not upgrade this. You are too afraid to upgrade the thing that makes you. We will never want to upgrade ourselves because we get comfortable. It's just like that person that stays on the job. And folks, believe you me, I am not stepping on the toes of those people who stayed in the job for 10, 20, 30 plus years. I'm not going to step on their feet. But how can you sit up there and upgrade your phone, upgrade your laptop, upgrade your life, but you won't upgrade you? You still hold on to the older version of you. Why are you holding on to an older version of you when your newer version of you is trying to come on in? You sitting down there still looking at the old crap, thinking this look good, tastes good. You, matter of fact, some of us don't even want to go deal with AI. That's the devil. That's the devil. AI ain't the devil. AI is how you use it, but you won't upgrade yourself. You will sit down there in a pity party all day. It's just like how you want, like I'm saying, how you upgrade a phone, how you upgrade a laptop, but you won't upgrade this. You won't become 1% better every day. You won't read one page a day, but you will definitely spend hours on social media looking at the stuff that hit the dopamine, that give you a dopamine hit all day long. You know what? You would sit down there on social media all day long, right? All day long, listen to videos about how no good dirty rat men might be, or how no good a woman is, or she a gold digger. You'll sit on social media like that all day long, but you'll never sit on social media to try to make yourself a better version of yourself. Look, the legendary motivational speaker, Jim Rohn, said it best. If you, I say, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I'm going to say it again. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work harder on your job, you can earn a living. You just existing. But if you work hard on yourself, you can build a legacy. Point of the matter is this. Why not get rid of that excess baggage? Folks, the body holds trauma. If you sitting down there and you still hurt because of what they did to you, you give them space. You give them energy. Walk away. I know it's easier said than done. But if you still hold on to trauma, bitterness that happened years ago, come on, bro. You ain't moved up nowhere. You are still the same exact person you was day one. I'm here to tell you, start working on you. Start building a better version of you. Start getting you into that environment where you can work on yourself better every day. Some of us don't want that gym membership. Gym membership, Planet Fitness, $10. You spend $10 at Starbucks. Look, just to make yourself a better version. Matter of fact, let me ask you this question. Why would you, I'm going to say, give the narcissist the opportunity to be better than you and you still the exact same version? That narcissist went off, got another family, whatever they doing, but you still sitting as the same version that you are right now. How dare you? Why not work on you? Why not become a better version of yourself? Why not sit up there and put the necessary work in to be the best version of you? Why not? Why not sit up there and say, you know what? You ain't going to see me like this. And there are some queens that I see on Instagram that come out of these bad relationships, and now, man, they mega millionaires because they done blew up on social media. You see the stories out there how a man might have been left by a woman or what a situation may be, fell bad on his luck, whatever situation be, now multimillionaires. Folks, do you see what I'm getting at? You can sit down all day and stay in these pity parties, but your best version of yourself is on the other side of the pain that you have to go through. You just have to go through it, not avoid it, not going from bed to bed to bed, thinking it's going to get better. Y'all got to excuse me. This little chair is the most uncomfortable chair when you sitting on it for a long period of time. But I'm here to tell you, if you're not willing to sit down there and do the work to become the best version of yourself, you have you to fault. Don't fault nobody else. Don't fault your kids. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you how you hold space in your life for the narcissist, right? You will sit down there and you will stay in that relationship. You will stay in that marriage, and you say, "Well, I don't want the kids to not have their father around. Well, I don't want the kids to have their mom around." You're not doing that for your kids. You're doing that for you. That's why you're keeping that person right there. It is not about your kids. Why would you want to keep your kids in a toxic environment? Pay attention to how I'm giving this to you. Why would you want to keep your kids in a toxic environment? And that's what you do 99.9% of the time. You keep your kids in the toxic environment because you're too busy thinking about that narcissistic person. You become numb to the pain. You sitting there and you trauma bonded so doggone much to where you cannot see yourself walking away from that, starting all over again. Because starting all over again, 99.9% of the time is starting better. 99.9% of the time, starting over is starting better. You stay in a narcissistic relationship and you use everything to keep that narcissist around. Man, woman, or child, whatever you want to call them. So don't sit down there and say, "Well, I'm gonna stay in this relationship based on my kids." It's not based on your kids. If you want your kids to be brought up in a peaceful environment, what the heck you think you're gonna do? You're gonna deed him out. You're gonna get yourself out that doggone environment. You're gonna get yourself out that environment because you know that you want better for your kids as well as yourself. But we're too scared to start over. Everyone's too scared to start over. Same exact thing. I have a client right now. You know, Ben, the husband, bottom line, gave me the whole story. A true narcissist just up, jumping left, went with another woman. And I don't think she'll ever come on my channel here, but I'm gonna tell the story. And if she do, she know I say it with much love and respect. Up, jump, and left. But because there's a house involved, she didn't want to let it go. He not answering. He not speaking on it. Folks, at the end of the day, and this could be any one of my clients, but at the end of the day, folks, why not let it go? If you let it go, that brings you more peace. You don't know what God has for you on the other side. You don't know what God has for you on the side. Yes, I could have sat there and I could have stayed in my second marriage. I could have stayed right there, happy-go-lucky, not do a thing. But I wouldn't be on this journey right now. I would not be the author of over 10 books. I would not be a content creator. I may or may not have the multiple degrees. I may not have even experienced all the stuff that I've experienced, traveling the world like I'm doing right now, have bought, the property, the houses, the big trucks, had the dream job and bought the land. I would not have been that version of me, but that version of me is an older version of me because guess what, folks? I walked away from everything to come here to Thailand. My last relationship, Batty with a fatty, if y'all want to call her like that, very beautiful queen. That relationship ended right before I came here because I knew, Leo, you have to go to Thailand. That's what the mission was bringing me. That's what my purpose was bringing me. And she was like, "You leaving by." And that's what it was. That's what it is. Because I know on the other side is that version of me that needs to come on out. The version of me that's talking to you time now, right now. So, folks, I'm here to tell you, don't need to hold on to none of that. Let it go. If you sitting down there and you still mad because the narcissist did you wrong, the narcissist took all your money, then slept with your girlfriend, and slept with your boyfriend, and slept with whomever, there's a point in your life where you got to sit down and tell yourself, wait a minute, I got to let this go because you still giving it space. You still giving the narcissist space in your life. You still giving the narcissist all your attention. I don't care if it's been 10 years that you came out the doggone relationship. If you still are triggered by the narcissist, you still can't forgive, then guess what? You still at day zero and you still giving the narcissist space in your doggone life. That's who you are. And now you cannot get to the next version of yourself. You cannot let go of the old way to where you can see the new version of yourself. So you can start building that generational wealth. So you can start looking different physically, mentally, and spiritually because you still giving it attention. Period, point blank. Why not come out of that relationship and say, you know what, I'm gonna start going to the gym? Men, pay attention. If you was in a marriage for X amount of years and the woman want to leave you, let her go. Love is not a cage. Let her go. Let her walk. Let her be. I'm gonna say it again. Men, if there's a woman who want to walk away from you, she want a divorce, let her go. She ain't there no more. She probably left you years ago. Physically there, mentally she's not there. I'm gonna say it again. So I hope it resonates with somebody. Physically she's there, mentally she's not there. That's what happened to me. I can tell that. I can tell that with my wife, my ex-wife. She was with me physically, mentally she was not there. Spiritually she was not there. And folks, that's gonna hurt some people. Same thing with you women. He want to go, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Folks, let me tell you right now, there is a world outside of us. A world, a big world. If you're the person that's still living your hometown, you've been there your whole life, and that's where you're happy at, fine and dandy, but you can't complain about where you at. People, if you sitting down there and you still holding on to the anger, resentment, you can't complain about that person living their life. You give them that attention. You give them that energy. That's your fault. That's a you situation. That's why I'm trying to tell you, you still give the narcissist space in your life. If you want to walk away from a relationship, walk away. Walk away, folks. Look, I have people that I know that I'm very close to. They don't believe in divorce. Folks, let me tell you, underneath that marriage certificate is a divorce paper right there. Now, I'm not sitting there promoting divorce. What I'm telling you, folks, there's a fine line between peace and sanity. I'm going to say it again. There's a fine line between peace and sanity. Which one is more important to you? Your sanity or peace? Well, let me say it like that. Let me kind of back it up. There's a fine line between peace and sanity and hurt and destruction. What do you want to stay in, that hurt and destruction? You want to stay in a narcissistic relationship? You want to stay getting dogged out, treated bad, trauma bonded? It's good with men, it's bad with men. It's good with men, it's bad with men. What kind of life is that? What kind of life you live? What kind of life you living because you up and down because that person got you on an emotional roller coaster? If you want true peace, true sanity, you have a choice every day. You can either stay with that narcissist or you can walk your butt away. Stop sitting there fearing that you're going to lose everything. God wants you to lose everything because God got better for you on the other side. Folks, I've started my life over 1,000 times. And let me tell you right now, everything that I've accomplished, all the books, all the vehicles, all the houses, all the properties, I walked away from all that because that don't value me. That's an outside thing. That's the world telling you, well, that's what values you. That's your value. No, it's not my value because guess what? If I lost all that tomorrow, if I lost all that today, which I've already done, I'm still me. You still you. If you lost the narcissist tomorrow, you still you. Man, that's the way life is. Stop sitting down there saying cling to the narcissist. Some of you stay in these relationships and it's abusive and you're afraid to walk away. Walk away. I'm telling you, if it's that abusive, you're getting your tail beat up, men or women, go call the police. Get the restraining order. Yes, you see it on the news sometime where a man couldn't stand losing a woman and he murked off. And that's a tragedy. That's terrible. And I'm sorry for that. Same thing, a woman might have went off and when ate crap, she might have shot him. It happens. You can't prevent that. But how you gonna stay in a relationship that you scared to get out of? How do you put your kids in an environment like that? How do you keep your kids in an environment, in a narcissistic environment? And I'm not trying to make the narcissist out to be a boogeyman. As I'm telling you, I'm a recovering narcissist. I'm a healing narcissist. Folks, I'm telling you, why would you keep your kids in a toxic environment? Why would you stay in a toxic environment? Why? When you know you have to leave, but you're so afraid of stepping out on faith. You're so afraid to breaking out on a belief that life is going to be better for you on the other side. There are women and men who have done this. They have left the house with nothing, lived in shelters, lived off the street, whatever, multimillionaires. Might have met the person of their dreams, whatever the situation may be. But some of us, we are so doggone scared, we just sit there and we stay in the loop. Karma loves you because you stay in the loop. You stay in one loop and you can't come out the loop. When you learn a lesson, you come out the loop. Why stay in a toxic relationship? Don't start sitting there saying, well, it's about the money and finances. You know, let me tell you something. Be willing to go broke to become a millionaire. Because if you look at all the stories of the wealthy, you see right where they started off. They have lost everything and got it back 10 times over. But you still sit there in that narcissistic relationship thinking that's it. I can't go no further. instead of letting go and let God. Because like I told you before, most of you get in your own doggone way and you stay in your own way. You stay in your own way more than anything else. You are the traffic signals, the traffic signs in your life. You see stop, you stop. That's why you stop. You stay right there. And that's your fault. That's nobody else's issue but your issue. If you want out of a narcissistic relationship, you can do it. You need to believe in yourself. I'm not sitting down here promoting everybody walk out of relationship, but I get sick and tired of hearing people talk about I'm in that relationship and they this, they that, they won't change. You change. So once you change, they'll change. And if they don't change, you walk away. That's what it is. That's life. You can't change nobody. You can't change nobody outside of you. The game is you. You are the one that has to do the changing. So why you scared to change you? Again, you will spend all that money upgrading this joker right here. You will upgrade everything around you, but you are so doggone afraid to upgrade yourself. That is a doggone shame and it's sickening. And I will say it right here on my channel because I'm not afraid to say it because I know how it was to walk that street as a narcissistic man. I know how it was to sleep in multiple beds at one night with multiple different women, getting turned up with the bottle, eating all the food, doing everything wrong. Again, I tell a story, folks. I hadn't been faithful to a woman since the 8th grade when that puppy love broke my heart. From then on, I couldn't see me being with one woman. I tried it. Matter of fact, I'm wrong. I was with one woman when I was in the 11th grade. That was it. The party was done when she walked away from me. So, folks, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you from point blank experience. If you don't walk down the road, if you don't walk down the fire, if you don't walk through the pressure, you will never become the version of you that you deserve to become. You're going to stay in that toxic relationship. You're going to stay complaining about it. It ain't going to change, and you're going to die that way. And if you're happy with that, you like it, I love it, that's your life. But I'm here to tell you that ain't no way to live on an emotional roller coaster. Do not stay in a relationship that's taken away from you. Relationships build you. Don't try to give me about that world-class sex stuff. Sex is just like eating a meal. Once you eat the meal, it's all good. After that, it's done. Period. Now you're waiting for the next meal. That's all it is. I'm not talking spirituality. I'm talking right here, 3D information. I'm getting to you real, raw, and direct from somebody who walked the path. I'm not going to sit down here as a life coach, transformation coach, and tell you something that I read about in a book. Or I looked at a couple of YouTube videos. I'm telling you, I was that dog dude. You know what? I'm a curse. I was the dog ass dude chasing all the women, multiple women. I didn't care. I didn't learn no lessons, right? Again, I was never faithful to no woman. Never. 11th grade was the last time I was faithful to a woman. 11th grade, folks. I'm 57 years, 25 years beautiful. That's what I call myself. But I'll be doggone, and I will tell you, hurt people hurt people. You with a narcissist, they're a hurt person. You can't change them. They not the worst of the worst. There are people that's a whole lot worse than that. Stop sitting down there playing all that bull crap game that narcissist so bad. Okay, leave the narcissist alone. Walk away. You got that option. Walk your tail away. You stay there because you want to stay there. That's a your problem. That's a your fault. And nobody want to accept the responsibility, accountability for their actions and their actions and beliefs. Nobody want to take actions. Guess what? What you believe every day is who you are every day. You got a chance and a choice every day. You can change you at the moment of time. Reality is not fixed. It's fluid. Reality is not fixed. It's fluid. So why won't you take the time to walk away from a destructive relationship, but you stay in a destructive relationship? I don't give a doggone if a clinician, a therapist, or anybody want to say, well, that guy don't know what he's talking about. He's not saying the correct words. I can care less. I talk from real world experience. Tell your doctor, tell your clinician, we can chop it up on the real all day long, but I would look them straight dead in their face. I was that guy who lived that life. My changing point was because I became sick and tired. It was my soul saying it's time to wake up and start your journey. Folks, there are people who are narcissists who are coming into the gnosis and the knowledge and saying, you know what, maybe it's time for me to change. Maybe I am still that person. I need help. Yes, folks, they will reach out to me from time to time. And I'm like, okay, let's set it up. Let's see if we can get you, started. Folks, you can get in my link. You will see my bio. I've written books. I was the narcissist. The family narcissistic dynamics. The empath, the narcissist, the same wound. Folks, I'm not talking from no bull crap about no therapist that's going to have words in the book, and I have nothing against them, but they got words in the book that you can't even pronounce and I can't even pronounce. I can't even spell them. Period, point blank, folks. I'm that person that's telling you point blank, you can change. Anybody can change. If a person who took somebody's life, and that's not good, in prison, they make the changes and then they get out and now they leading a productive life. You telling me that they can't change and I'm seeing them change? My ex-brother-in-law, who was a big time, and I mean I love him, dude. He was a very powerful person in the city we used to live in. And yes, he used to do things that was not good. He got locked away from a while. He came out a businessman, trucking business, beautiful family, beautiful home. You can't tell me this man, and the man got the heart of an angel. You can't tell me people can't change. You see it every day. You see it on social media. But guess what? You won't change your algorithm to see it. You love the drama. You love seeing, the stuff that look good, tastes good, that's not good. You love the drama. And the more you love the drama, the less you're going to see that there's a possibility for everybody to change. If you cannot tell me that a man who done did bad was not a narcissist. And then they come out, they're not that person at all. You can't tell me that. But guess what? You will believe it when somebody tell you, oh, they narcissists never change. They evil. How? How? Because God put somebody in your life to shake you up so much to where you need to get the strength. Because basically that's what it is. You need the strength to walk away from the narcissist. But as long as you see yourself as weak or not worthy of walking away, you're going to stay right there. You have the strength. You're more powerful than you know, but you won't walk away because that's a you game. Don't sit down there and use your kids. Well, we got kids together and I don't want them to grow up without a parent. Guess what? That's not about your kids. That's about you. Men, same thing, because there's a lot of men who are afraid to be in by themselves. Men, you can walk away. I don't want to pay all the child support. Pay the doggone child support. Guess what? You just sitting there. Y'all sitting. And I don't want to say nothing bad about anybody, because I know guys like this. They will sleep in a separate room from the wife, whatever situation may be. Or you will have men that sleeping with different women and stuff like that, thinking that brings spice to the relationship. No, that don't. That just bring more drama, more trauma, more wound. And it might be the same way on the vice versa. People, at the end of the day, you have to put yourself in a win-win category. Don't believe that whole hype, good guys finish last. No, we don't. No, we don't. And I'm not sitting there saying I'm a good guy. What I'm telling you is I'm somebody who walked that street already. I can tell you everything about that street. I can tell you everything about being 280 plus pounds, almost 300. I can tell you about sleeping with multiple women, having to hide out because you can't go in public with certain women because you're too scared a woman going to jump out on you. I can tell you how I feel going from bed to bed to bed in one night. I can tell you how it actually feel when a woman is standing up over you, asking you, am I worthy? Why did you do it? Was not good enough. I can tell you that because it still sits in my head today, and I'm still forgiving myself for the things that I've done. So please, you can't come to Leo and tell Leo, you don't know. Yes, I do know. I do know. I'm that guy that's going to tell you, hey, look, you might want to channel this direction. You might want to do this. You have a choice. You can either stay on that road or you can try a different road. Go down the path that's least walk. Folks, the one percenters don't walk down the crowded street. They make their own road. But some of us are still stuck in, well, my daddy used to be like that. My mom used to be like that. Your mom and dad's history is not your history. Make your own history. Be the anomaly in the family, but you're too afraid to be the anomaly in the family because guess what? You don't want to be different. Folks, it is so beautiful being different. I love being different. You know why? Because being different means I can be me, the authentic self. Do not be afraid of being your authentic self. Because the more you're afraid of being your authentic self, is the more you deny yourself the opportunity to live the life that you deserve to live. You sitting down there thinking that you got to stay glued to a narcissist? What? Think highly of yourself. Think highly of yourself. Don't sit down and say, well, the grass is greener on the side. No, but your growth is on the other side. Your growth is on the other side. It is not about control. It's about belief. It's about having faith. It's about not getting in your way. It's about letting God take the steering wheel, letting God drive your life. I'm not telling you to go to church. Never in life. I don't even go to church. I'll pass by one, head nod them up if I see them, and keep it pushing. But when you give reverence and faith to the powers that be, guess what happens? Good come to you. You need the narcissist to come in your life to shake you up so bad to get you to a point where it's like, you know what? That's it. I'm sick and tired. I'm done. And if you don't get to that point in life, you're going to stay in the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And you're going to sit down there and blame everything outside of you versus taking accountability for what you don't want to do. And that's you seeing you. And I don't care who don't like what I'm saying, because I'm going to say it. If you're so afraid of looking at you in the mirror, why look at it? You can't complain about nothing you ain't willing to fix. Tony Robbins said it best. If you want to take the islands, burn the boats. If you want to take the islands, burn the boats. If you got a plan A, don't even have a plan B. Because guess what? You'll never get to plan A, because you're going to always fall back on plan B. Be willing to start your life over, because starting over is starting better. That gives you an opportunity to rebuild a newer version of you. Folks, I'm here to tell you, I have not weighed over 220 since them days. I stopped drinking. Matter of fact, my last little celebratory drink was my family reunion I just went to with my beautiful family to celebrate my mom and my dad. A little small little cap full inside some club soda, whatever situation may be. Back in the day, folks knew that boy was getting turned up, turned up. We got to finish it off tonight, turned up. And then it's going on to the next day. Women that knew me, yep, he a good guy, but he got about 50 other women. So he's sneaky, he gonna get to him. That was me, folks. He get mad, he gonna leave, you ain't gonna know where he at. And I might have set up another woman in another city, another town. I was that guy. So I'm here to tell you, folks, you want to walk away from a narcissist, walk away. I am not saying that the women I was with were bad. No, I'm not playing victim. I was the perpetrator. 90% of the time, I was the perpetrator. So I'm here to tell you, can a narcissist change? Yes, you're looking at one. Am I still healing from the wounds of childhood and narcissistic tendency? Yes, I am still doing it in the present moment. At the end of the day, you have the power to change you. But if you're sitting down there and you hooked on phonics, and I'm gonna say hooked on phonics because you love what's easy, and the easy stuff is listening to, and I have no disrespect to Mr. Kevin, to what's his name, Kevin Samuels, because back in my day when I came out of my marriage, I didn't listen to the stuff that he said about women because I didn't like how he talked about women. But I've heard a lot of interviews with him, very intellectual man. I liked him for his fashion sense. But there were other men that I was listening to talking down on women, like a woman's supposed, this, that, and the third. Something in me was like, no, it's two sides to every story. I had to listen to women. Okay, this is what the women are saying. This is what the men are saying. But you have to evolve. Healing is about evolving. You cannot stay the same if you on a healing journey. It does not work. You have to evolve and continually to evolve. Folks, if you're not evolving, you're not healing. Don't sit down there and say, well, I don't feel nothing. That's because you suppressed it. Don't suppress what's deep down inside. The body holds trauma. And if you get triggered or you don't realize you're getting triggered or you get mad when somebody says something, because I'm going to tell you, for me, people were telling me who I am, what I am, and how I feel. And I'm like, that ain't me, but I'm going after them. Like I said, like a silverback gorilla, you ain't going to tell me about me. But that's a wound that happened to me as a child. And as I kept on developing as a narcissist, like I said, I had not been faithful to a woman since the 11th grade, people. That's not nothing I'm bragging about. I'm trying to tell you, I've walked the road of the true narcissist. Yes, folks, you talking to a man who did hit women as a narcissist when I lost control. You talk to a man who gaslit, who love bombed. You talking to that guy. Make myself seem bigger than everybody else. That was my whole storyline in life. But I'm here to tell you, folks, as I stand on this side right now, time now, today, anybody can heal and anybody can change their life. All you have to do is believe and have faith. Your soul is going to knock at that door and say, you know what, there's more to life than what you was living. You do not have to stay in this relationship. Because if you stay in that relationship, you will never see the next version of yourself. You will never see the way you could build the generational wealth. You will never see where you building the legacy. You will stay right there in that same old circle, that same old karmic cycle, never knowing that you was meant to lead the world. Period, point blank, folks. You will never see it. You will never know it. Because guess what? You stuck right there and using every excuse to stay with the narcissist. Because guess what? You keep the narcissist in your life. I don't care if you're married 10 times over and that narcissist, as soon as you see them on video, oh, he did me dirt. He was the worst thing ever. I can't stand him. You still with the narcissist because you still gave them space. Men, the same thing with you, man. She took all my money, man. She made me, she just did the worst, the worst. You still giving her attention. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. The eighth generative principle, the eighth hermetic principle, you still giving it to them. Folks, start looking at you. It's all you at the end of the day. Before I end this live, I'm going to give it to you just like this, raw and direct. It is you all day long. It is not what's outside of you. It's you. When you decide to give you back you, then you will see your next best version of yourself. Why not shock the world if you sitting in solitude or isolate? Why not shock the world and they see a whole brand new different you glowing, you looking good? I ain't talking about the stuff outside of you, because you can still be the same old disgusting human being buying all that stuff. That's nothing. Why not let people see you glow? Why not let people see your light? Folks, don't do yourself a disservice. If you want out the narcissist relationship, get out the narcissist relationship. Have faith and believe that God has you back. Look here, folks. I'm going to go and chop on off. The day is getting away from me over here in Thailand. I'm going to videotape some of them scenes out here. It's a beautiful place, folks. Y'all have a good evening. We're going to chop it up on real. I'm going to come back on live real soon again, folks. Stay tuned for more of the videos. Y'all have a good one.